Hi, my name is Howard. Welcome to Road Trip Car Reviews. Today, we're going to review the 2020 Hyundai Elantra. On this show, we review cars to see how well they'd be as a road trip car. We look at options, features, we test drive it, and at the end, we'll give it a grade. The Elantra comes in several models. It comes in SE, SEL, Value Edition, Eco, Limited, and Sport. This particular car comes with heated side mirrors, solar control glass, automatic headlight control, hood insulator, and projector headlights, along with 16-inch wheels. The trunk has 14.4 cubic feet of cargo space. The car also comes with a full complement of sensing, including forward collision avoidance assist, lane keeping assist, driver attention warning, rear view camera with dynamic lines. Now we're going to take a look at the engine. The engine is a 16-valve dual overhead cam 2-liter with 147 horsepower, and it also makes 132 pounds of torque. The Eco model comes with a 1.4 16-valve gasoline direct injected 128 horsepower motor with 156 pounds of torque. The Sport comes with a 1.6-liter motor with 201 horsepower and 195 pounds of torque. Okay, well, sitting in the front seat, you know, the seat is actually pretty comfortable. It feels like a driver's seat, like they made it purposely for not just a cruising around seat, but they know someone who's going to be driving this is going to be doing some serious driving. It's actually very comfortable. The seating position is not too bad. This particular car doesn't have electric seats, but I was manually able to go through and make it comfortable, and it's fine. The instruments are right there, easy to see. Looking out the window, I have lots of visibility. It feels like I've got plenty of room, even being a tall guy, and so that's pretty nice. The air conditioning is very cold, which is excellent because it's a very warm day today. It's doing pretty good. I mean, it's pretty nice so far. The steering wheel does move up and down, and it's also telescopic. So my seat is kind of far back a little bit, but with the telescopic steering wheel, getting it closer to me, that's pretty nice. I like that. Here's the buttons for the menu system. You just push that, and then you can keep pushing it and it'll go to different screens. Arrow buttons to toggle through, and also cruise button and cruise control settings. It does have a cruise control sensing. Over here, of course, you have a button for your radio, a mode, adjust your radio, the volume, and phone calls, of course. Okay, so to access the menu, you have to push the button here, and then that'll take you to the tire pressure. And there's the driver's assistant. You push the OK, and then that OK. That you want to select that one, then you can use the arrow keys to go to the different sensitivities. You can even turn it off right there. So if I wanted it normal sensitivity, I can push it like that. It'll be normal sensitivity, or I just turn it off. And then just push the menu button again, and then I can also use the arrow keys to go to things like the door. The door, which is auto unlock, lock, so you can change the different settings there. Horn feedback, so when you lock the doors, it'll make a noise or not. Convenience, you hit OK. There's wiper display, gear position, icy road warning, so all kinds of things there that it'll tell you about. Service interval, that's pretty good. That'll tell you about when you got to service the car, of course. So that's pretty nice. Nice thing about the instrument panel is they look sporty. The numbers look pretty sporty. There's a checkered pattern behind the RPM, and also the speedometer. That's pretty neat. That does give it a little bit of sportiness. So it looks nice. It's nice to look at. This button is a drive mode button. You push it and it'll go to sport right now, and then there's a smart system as well, and there's also normal position. The transmission in this model is a SmartStream intelligent variable transmission. Also here is when you shift, you can manually go through the gears. Probably in the sport mode. When you're in the sport mode, then you can manually shift through the gears, and then that'll get you the manual gears. And it's pretty exciting. Get a little bit of fun on the road, get a little extra power. So that's pretty nice. You can see in the center screen that when you push the smart, it goes to smart. Oh, it went off. Push it again, that's normal. Push it again, it'll go to smart. Sorry, that was sport, and then smart, and then back to normal. And then I like to keep it on sport. These buttons here, this controls the brightness of the light. This is the sensing that tells us whether there's a car on our corner back there. Right now it's turned on. This one tells us if we're staying in the lane. It'll help assist. Hey, you're drifting over. That'll help. This is your stability track. Just keeps control of the car if you get into some slippery roads and such. Looks like if you push the radio button, there's your radio. I'm going to turn it off for now. Here's media. This also is push screen, touch screen I mean, and so you can see your different applications. Here's one for phone. Here's a quick guide that tells you, turns on things like the projection or phone projection, Bluetooth, voice recognition, so you can control things there. There's a back button, again with the radio. Turns that back on. And you can program your stations there too, of course. Here's a menu button, so you can look at your sound settings and other information, so you can adjust things there. So that's pretty good. It has a nice sound to it. It's not the greatest, but it's not too bad. The button says priority, so proximity warning, startup volume limit, so you can change the different things. Here's advanced, speed dependent volume. So that's pretty neat. You hit the home button, you get out of there, turn this on and off. And then you have the different things here, which it'll tell you advanced settings, like you can adjust your phone, projection, Sirius radio, kind of things that we already went through. And then going back over here, let's go back to radio. You can also use this knob to go through the stations as well. Have that program there. Down here you have your air conditioning setup. Here's the temperature, obviously, fan, like that. It also has an auto position, so you just put in the temperature that you want. It'll maintain it. You can have that for both sides. You can separate them. That's pretty neat. Down here you have 12-volt power outlets plus an auxiliary and a USB, so you can charge to your heart's content. That's pretty exciting. Here you've got some lights like that. Here you got a sunglass holder. Here's your power windows and your mirror control. Not too bad. Well, I'm looking in the back seat here, and it's a comfortable seat. My only challenge here is the front seat, the driver's seat where I'm sitting, where I'm driving, set up for me driving. When I sit in the back, I'm 6'2", 6'3" or so, and I don't have a lot of leg room. The other side I will have more because the passenger seat is a little bit further, but if you're sitting behind tall drivers, it's going to be a little tight back here. But the seat itself is comfortable. I can feel the air conditioning from the front coming through just fine. Not too bad. Now it's time for the test drive. Okay, so we're driving this car here out of the parking lot, and we're going to check out the performance, how it seems to handle and such. Right now we're just going to pull out here, do a couple of turns, feel the acceleration and such. There's normal, sport, and ugly. It's a slow mode. Makes the car go slow. It's supposed to make it, efficient, but I'm not even going to use it. But what we're going to do is get on the freeway here. So right now it's in normal mode. It does still pick up pretty good. When it's in sport mode, the RPMs they go a little higher before they shift. getting on the road here. One of the nice things about this car is sitting in the driver's seat. It feels like it's a driver's car. It feels comfortable. It feels like it's definitely knows there's somebody sitting here and invites you into the driving experience. I like how the steering wheel feels sitting in the seat with the dash ahead of me with instruments looking very sporty the way they are. I can see very well, has very good visibility, and it's pretty good so far. Alright, I'm accelerating a little bit. It downshifts just fine, and looks like it's have good power to accelerate, so that's not too bad. It seems that it can get out of its own way. That's very good. Very good. And still very smooth. It's a nice riding car. It's not pillow-like, which is great. Don't really want pillow-like. You can feel the road somewhat, so you still feel like it feels a little sporty. Still feels firm, but it's not overly firm. Okay, I'm going to try the manual, the shifter. It's like paddle shifters, except it's on the stick. So while I'm in regular mode, and I can do a couple things. I can mash the pedal and it'll downshift, or I can switch over the shifter and it manually goes to the gear that I'm already in. Actually, it upshifted, and then I can toggle through the shifter to get that extra gear, to give you a little extra power. Plus, I like that. It gives you a little more fun on the road. And let's see how many gears it has. There's gear 6, 7, 8. So it's an 8-speed. And when you're done, you just switch it back over to drive, and voila. Okay, I'm going to punch it in sport mode. As soon as I put it in sport mode, there's a lot of response in sport mode. In fact, it feels like there's more response mode, or more response, instant response, more horsepower when it's in the sport mode position. That's really great. In fact, it feels like I just picked up another cylinder. More power. That's pretty neat. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back to the normal mode. Also, I found that when you're in sport mode and you're just cruising along, the RPMs are a little bit higher than if you were just cruising along in the normal mode. Almost like it's not using all of its gear, so at the moment you need it, you can have it. I'm just kind of cruising here at the flow of traffic. I'm going to punch the sport mode, and instantly it downshifts, and it downshifted again, and it really feels like there's more horsepower. It really has good response. It's flying, actually. That's very nice. Now, when I put it back in regular mode, now the difference when I'm just using the paddle shifters in normal mode, it feels like it has the same horsepower. It's just using the gears to go. Now, when I put the sport mode in, it feels like how the horsepower actually increased. I don't know if the computer is creating more horsepower, but it could be through the mapping software. Just creates more power, which it could be doing that. And all the time, the car feels good and solid. It feels like it's driving on rails. It's doing really good. Now, right now, we're cruising right around the speed limit. And when you go above the speed limit a little bit, not that we want to do that, but it handles really well. I mean, 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour is no problem. Right at 100, you feel the car is saying, I can do it, but maybe not too much more as far as handling goes. Not that I'm driving 100 miles an hour, or you would, but it looks like that might be probably the limits of the handling of the vehicle. But 80, 90, not a problem. It feels rock solid. It feels like you can keep up with all the traffic, and you can overtake traffic when you need to. It feels really good. Now, just cruising along, currently it'll tell me my fuel average. Now, we're driving in town a little bit ago, and so that was about 26 miles to the gallon. And I've been seeing 35 miles to the gallon most of the time, just cruising down the road. I've even seen 40 miles per gallon. And range, as far as range goes, I've seen as much as 450 mile range. And that's pretty good. That's really good, especially if you're driving a little bit spirited. It's affecting gas mileage, but not by a ton. And that's even if you're driving, like I said, spirited and just cruising along with traffic. A lot of times traffic is spirited and it's driving along. You got to keep up, but it doesn't seem to be any kind of sweat for this car. It just keeps going. It keeps going. And I noticed about this car, if you're just cruising, you're not really worried about keeping up with traffic. Well, I mean, you want to keep up with traffic. You just kind of mind your own business driving. You really don't think about too much. The car doesn't make you think about other things other than a comfortable drive, a comfortable ride. It's a nice cruiser. I'm actually quite surprised. Actually, it drives very well, more than I thought it would. And then if you do want to drive, a little bit more spirited, as they say, it doesn't make you worry. It doesn't make you think that it's not going to be able to handle it. Again, it's not going to do what the higher end cars do, but for to be in the legal limit, it handles everything in the legal limit very well.
And now it's time to see how the car graded as a road trip car. For styling, it gets a 7. Features, an 8. Comfort, an 8. Cargo space, an 8. Acceleration, a 9. Handling, a 9. Economy, 10. Fun factor, 9. And now for the bonus score. This is my overall experience with the car, and it scores a 9. This gives the car a total score of 77, which gives it a grade of a B+. Well, my name is Howard. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.